ever, and if I were rolling dice, never ever would I imagine that I would ever contract this infection, that I would ever get it to this extent, ever.
Just days after running another full marathon this year and just months after climbing the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro, a Fargo man is sidelined as he battles COVID-19. As Valley News Team's Bailey Hurley found out, the man has a warning for us all.
Feels like today I'm breathing out of like my chest is a lunchbox. There's no flexibility to it. Hard to breathe, hard to move around. Walking up a flight of stairs exhausts me.
It's a grim comparison to where Lee Hodel was just 2 weeks ago.
And ran the marathon, virtual marathon on my treadmill in under 4 hours.
In his late 50s, Hodel describes himself healthy as a horse and at the top of his physical health with no pre-existing conditions, which is why Hodel says on top of more media attention on COVID impacting the old and vulnerable, he thought the virus wouldn't be a big deal for him if he happened to contract it.
Just all of a sudden, it was like a tidal wave over the top of me.
Fever, chills, body aches, a cough, chest pain, and later diagnosed with what's called COVID lung.
My O2 levels started dropping, and I ended up in urgent care.
Hodel says he and his family have taken every precaution they could the last 8 months, but says it's hard to stay safe when so many others in the community ignore science and common sense.
When you walk out your door, you don't just have a right to walk in this world, you have a responsibility.
Hodel emphasizes he doesn't want sympathy and says even if he isn't able to run or climb again, he'll be okay. Adding while there is hope and a COVID vaccine on the horizon, that's no reason to become complacent, saying this isn't a virus you can simply tough out.
It's indiscriminate. It's going to come find you. It doesn't care if you're CEO of a company, if you're a new bride, if you are in the top of your physical game and you're headed to the Olympics next week. It doesn't matter. It's coming for you.
In Fargo, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
Hodel says that he had an infusion to build up his own antibodies against the virus. He says 65% of the patients who received that therapy have stayed out of the hospital.